press the bell icon and be part of our notification squad.
Now listen to me, baby. How dare you? I like the outrage. Hello intelligent audiences and Reliance Jio users. Welcome to EIC Outrage. The Syrian conflict is one of the most complicated issues of our times, but our knowledge is disturbingly limited.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Fun fact, this guy was a 2016 US presidential candidate and he lost because he wasn't the most ignorant one. But let me clarify this right here. We are comedians. We are in no position to give an expert analysis on this subject. I still don't know the difference between mutual funds and fixed deposits. How can I solve a global crisis? So the intention of this video is to just tell you what's happening in Syria and why.
Syria has been the worst war that the world has seen in the 21st century. We have now probably 400, maybe 500,000 people killed in the fighting. We have about 12 million people, more than half of Syria's population, that is no longer living in their own homes.
The war in Syria has been on for over 8 years now. 8 years. These days, most relationships don't last that long. One of Kim Kardashian's marriages lasted 72 days. So one Syrian war is equal to 40 Kim Kardashian marriages. Now you know how seriously messed up the situation is. So what is so great about Syria? Geographically, it's got a great strategic location. Like brokers would lose their mind.
सर ये सीरिया एकदम मस्त है यार। ये साइड पे यूएस, यूरोप और मेडिटेरेनियन सी का व्यू, यहाँ पे रशिया और टर्की से शवरमा का होम डिलीवरी। पर सिर्फ एक चीज है, नेबर सब मोहम्मदियन है।
Culturally, Syria is divided along 3 lines. The Sunni Muslims are the majority, the Shias are the complete minority, and Alawis are minorities, but somehow the guys who run the entire country, they are not allowing anybody else to run the country. That's right. Then there's the Kurds, not to be confused with Dahi, who have basically formed their own unofficial country at the borders of Syria and Turkey. At the center of this global shitstorm is the Syrian president Bashar al-Assad. Assad was considered a shy kid in school who studied medicine, worked as a doctor in an eye hospital in London, but now is suddenly considered the biggest war criminal in the world. He went from Darshil Safari to Darth Vader real quick. His school reunion must be really weird.
और भैया असाद कैसे हैं? शादी वादी हुई है? अभी भी शर्माता रहता है। स्कूल में तो पट्टू हुआ करता था साले।
Unlike the other leaders in the Middle East, Assad is not technically a dictator because he was elected twice. Although the elections are reportedly just a farce, and it's worth noting that his father was also a president. And we know from experience that even elected people can become dictators. I'm of course talking about Donald Trump. Take care, America. Take care. Over the last few years, people in countries like Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt rose up against the administration and overthrew their governments. This phenomenon was called the Arab Spring. Syria, spring is coming. Overthrowing rulers was suddenly a new hipster trend. It was basically Middle East ka avocado. So in 2011, some kids in Syria drew some graffiti which said, "You are next, Dr. Assad." Which is a weird thing to say because normally it's the doctor who tells patients, "You are next." As per reports, they were immediately arrested and tortured in Syrian prisons. This led to a nationwide protest, and that's where it all began. One second, Assad tortured people for just saying, "You are next"? By that logic, I should have murdered at least 15 relatives at my cousin's wedding.
अरे bro, you're already married.
Facts को jokes के बीच में मत ला. From here, the story gets murky and depends on what narrative you choose to believe in. One theory suggests that the police opened fire and killed peaceful protesters, clamping down on their freedom of speech.
Soon after that, special forces were helicoptered in from Damascus with orders to quell the riot at all costs. Just after 4 p.m. that Friday, they opened fire on the crowd.
On the other hand, the Syrian government will tell you that officers were attacked by terrorists pretending to be protesters and they opened fire in retaliation.
And I will tell you that during the first few weeks, many policemen were killed. I don't think they were shot dead and killed by the sound waves of the demonstrators.
The point is, shit hit the fan. What happened next not only blew minds, but also blew off several bombs and missiles that led to a civil war.
Let's simplify it. First, we have Assad's Syrian regime. Then came the rebel group Free Syrian Army with many other groups, including extremists like Al-Qaeda, to overthrow the government. ISIS took advantage of the instability and started conquering parts of Syria for themselves. The US decided to get involved and aid the rebels. The Kurds came in demanding autonomy. Then Russia was like, "Acha, US आ गया है, चल उनकी मारते हैं." Then Iran was like, "बस क्या भाई, सुन्नी लोग की लगा रहा है, अकेले अकेले." Then Hezbollah, Iraq, some Afghans and Yemen entered the party going, "Shias in the house, make some noise!" Saudi Arabia joined in to continue their 40-year-old Cold War with Iran. Other Sunni supporting countries like Turkey, Jordan and Qatar followed because they think it's always Sunni in Syria Delphia. There were also Stanley-like cameos by France, UK, Germany and Israel. Even USA got involved again, claiming moral reasons, which is American for oil chahiye. USA and Turkey were always friends. USA was also friends with the Kurds, but Turkey bombed the Kurds, making USA insecure, and the world wondered, Turkey और Russia का कुछ लफड़ा चालू है क्या? And in all this complicated, nuanced confusion, the good old ISIS was sitting there going, diplomacy छोड़, Assad का, US का, rebels का, सबका सर काटेगा तेरा ISIS. And the rest, as they say, is current affairs.
We tried to simplify it. Based on most reporting you see from the Western media, it's easy to conclude that all of this is Assad's fault. But Assad also has a point.
The most important factor is how long are the supporters of those terrorists are going to keep supporting them, especially Turkey and Qatar and Saudi Arabia, with the endorsement of some Western country, including the United States. If you don't have that support, it won't take more than a few months.
But Assad's government has been accused of several horrible things.
Quote, have deliberately and viciously attacked civilians in opposition-held areas using indiscriminate weapons, notoriously barrel bombs. Condemned the use of chlorine gas.
And he has denied everything.
That didn't happen in Syria.
He's basically that guy who हर चीज का proof मांगता है.
The earth is round.
Who verified the pictures?
Humans evolved from apes.
What about the concrete evidence?
Dravid is better than Sachin.
Definitely.
Indian media, as always, has been asking the most relevant questions.
Mr. President, you visited India in 2008, and on that occasion you also visited the Taj Mahal in Agra. When do you plan to visit India next? What's your secret of success? Do you at all make time to relax, maybe watch a movie, hear some music, spend time with family and kids? Very few people know that you studied medicine, you're an ophthalmologist. Do you miss your London days? I mean, do you feel like going back in time, as it were?
Trust an Indian uncle to ask an alleged war criminal if he wants to go back to medicine.
बेटा, ये bombs वगैरह में future नहीं है. डॉक्टर की डिग्री है ना, नौकरी कर लो.
India has actually been pretty neutral on this stance by just saying that it doesn't support foreign intervention in Syria. Because the last time we allowed foreign intervention, it took us 200 years and an over-dramatic cricket match to get rid of them. In conclusion, कौन सही है, कौन गलत, we have no idea. हमारा भी दिमाग खराब हो गया है. But the one thing we do know is that this war has led to a major humanitarian crisis.
Nearly 2.5 million Syrians are now refugees, giving that nation the dubious distinction of having the highest refugee population in the world.
We've all seen photos and videos on social media about Syria that make us sad. But the problem is, a lot of them are fake.
One is from Mosul in Iraq, and the other is from the Israeli bombing of Gaza.
Why do we need to share fake photos of the Syrian war? There are enough real ones already. Fake photos share ही करना है तो ये वाला करो ना. I'll only tweet it. So why should you care? This is actually a war on 3 levels. It's a civil war between the people, the rebel groups and the government. It's a holy war between the Sunnis and the Shias. And it's 2 separate Cold Wars. Saudi Arabia versus Iran and USA versus Russia. All it takes is one impulsive move from either side, and given that these uncles think that the nuclear missile button is a toy from Hamleys, it's very worrying. More pertinently, the 3 main issues that led to the situation in Syria were lack of strong opposition in the government, religious divide and intolerance, and curbing of freedom of speech. Sounds familiar? I'm of course talking about Pakistan. Take care, Pakistan. Take care. So what can you do? I don't know. It's not like you can just go and tell them, hey guys, stop fighting. And they'll be like, हाँ bro, thank you तूने बोल दिया. कल से पकड़ा पकड़ी चालू. 9 rounds of UN-mediated peace talks have barely helped. You and I can definitely not do much. Just read up on the issue, stay informed, and don't fall for fake news and photos. Because we may not understand the war, but we can at least empathize with the people and stop living in denial about this. And that's my outrage for today. I like the outrage! If you would like to waste more of your precious time and data on such videos, please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel. And by the way, I do know the difference between mutual funds and fixed deposits, and that is...
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Please read the offer document carefully before investing.
EIC